All right, let's dive into something we can all relate to. Why some websites feel lightning fast and others, well, not so much. Today, we're looking at how Airbnb tackled this exact problem with a really cool technique called HTTP streaming. You know that feeling, right? You click a link, and one site just pops right up, while another one leaves you staring at that dreaded blank white screen, just waiting. So, what's really going on behind the scenes? Well, a lot of the time, the culprit is something developers call the network waterfall. It's basically a big traffic jam. Your browser has to download the main page, then wait for that to finish before it can even ask for the images, then wait for those before it can get the fonts. You get the idea. It's just this long, frustrating chain of wait. But what if you could just smash that chain? What if there was a way to get things moving all at once? Well, there is. And that's where we get to the core idea here, streaming versus buffering. It's a whole different way of thinking about delivering a web page. The folks at Airbnb had this absolutely perfect analogy for it. The old way, buffering, is like filling up a giant cup with water and only then pouring it down a tube. You have to wait for the whole cup to fill. But streaming, that's like connecting the spigot directly to the tube. Water starts flowing immediately. There's no waiting for the cup to fill. So what is HTTP streaming, technically speaking? It's pretty simple, really. Instead of the server waiting to build the entire page before sending anything, it starts sending pieces, or chunks, as soon as they're ready. This means your browser can start building the page with the first chunk while it's still waiting for the rest to arrive. So how did Airbnb actually put this into practice? Well, their first big move was this really clever trick they called the early flush. And the big idea here is so smart. It's basically send the browser the instruction manual for the page right away. That manual is the HTML head tag. Why? Because it tells the browser all the other files it's going to need, like the style sheets and scripts. Getting that list early means the browser can start downloading all those other things immediately, instead of just sitting there waiting. Here's how they did it. They literally broke their page into 3 pieces. First, an early head with all the critical stuff that was ready to go. Second, a late head for things that needed to wait for slow database queries. And third, the main body of the page. So they could just fire off that early head right away, giving the browser a massive head start. Then, once the database finished its work, they'd send the rest. Super smart. Now, that early flush was already a huge win, but they knew they could do even better. They weren't done yet. This led them to the next level, streaming the actual data itself. Because here's the catch. Even with the early flush, the user was still staring at a totally blank page, while all the main content was being fetched. To the user, it still felt kind of broken until, bam, everything loaded at once. The big question was, how could they show the user something useful, something to let them know things were happening right away? And this slide just shows the difference perfectly. On the left, that's the old way. The page structure loads, then it has to go ask for the data. Wait. But look at the right. With data streaming, the page structure and the data flow in together at the same time. It's a parallel process, and that is a total game changer for perceived speed. The solution was something you've definitely seen before. Those gray boxes or skeleton screens that show the shape of the page before the content appears. They would send that placeholder shell first. It immediately tells your brain, okay, something is happening. The page is loading. Then, in a later chunk, they stream in the real data to fill in all those boxes. The page just comes to life right in front of you. Now, of course, this all sounds great in a presentation, right? But making this kind of change on a massive live application like Airbnb, well, that comes with some serious challenges.
Yeah, they ran into some gnarly problems. For instance, you have to know if a page even exists before you start streaming it. You can't send a piece of the page and then go, oh, oops, never mind, this page doesn't exist. They also had to fight with parts of their system that were designed to hold on to data, to buffer it. And they even found this wild 200 millisecond delay caused by a network setting that was trying to be helpful by bundling tiny packets together, but was actually slowing the whole thing down.
So, after navigating all those technical minefields, what was the actual payoff? Was all that hard work worth it? Oh yeah. The result was a flat 100 millisecond reduction in what's called first contentful paint. That's the first moment anything visual appears on the screen. Now, 100 milliseconds might not sound like much, but in the world of web performance, that is a massive victory. Shaving that much time off of every single page is incredible. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Here's what Victor Lin, one of the engineers on the project, had to say. HTTP streaming has been a very successful strategy for improving web performance at Airbnb. It doesn't get much clearer than that.
So let's wrap this up. What are the big things to remember here? 1. Streaming absolutely demolishes that network waterfall problem. 2. How fast a site feels is everything, and showing a loading state early is key. 3. This isn't just for new apps. You can actually do this on big, complex websites. And finally, this is where the web is going. This isn't just a clever Airbnb trick, it's the future of web development.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? We just saw the incredible effort one company put in to shave off milliseconds and make their site feel instant. So what if every website did that? What would a truly seamless, instant internet even feel like?